Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
For me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
What people do in no money, what they at you, it no at you. Covid money, me say we in the year little rat you. Use the youth, them money, waste and bust a man to statue. Say me like a catch you, but bigger than a figure you. Take the spit of money, God and say that it's not you. On the head, the man above end up, him a got up. Too much it in the kitchen, some a fly by like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me,
300% raise.
it burn me,
Garbage pile up the day.
it burn me,
Give the teacher them
it
raise.
burn me,
I see corruption
it
face.
burn me,
Mash down the people them house.
it burn me,
Every day appear arms out.
it burn me,
Appear money them a thief.
it burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't for me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
Come me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no mega bigger. The 100 the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in a whatever. Member bowl only and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like people themselves.
It burn me,
On the treat the market man.
it burn me,
On them a treat the cat man.
it burn me,
On them treat the peanut man.
it burn me,
On them a treat the dirt man.
it burn me,
On them a treat the son man.
it burn me,
How them a treat policeman.
it burn me,
How them a treat soldier man.
it burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't for me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't.
Stibby dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love lake. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for. We in Global TV, check it.
Good evening, and welcome to Drive Time London. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Doge versus Speed. Elon Doge and Audrey Speed. You must have already heard that the Prime Minister has created a ministry of bureaucracy. the efficiency arm of government to sort out that wayward bureaucracy in government that hold us back. But the issue of Cuban health workers is a no-go area for the Prime Minister. Just not look in that direction at all. The truth is Dr. Tufton's argument is not enough. Right across the Caribbean, there is leadership on the issue. And when we say leadership, we mean the prime ministers of various different Caribbean countries. Jamaica, the big brother for the Caribbean, the so-called once leader of the Caribbean, those who look to them for influence of the Caribbean, is prostrate on their face to America with a bid to fracture the relationship with Jamaica and Cuba, as well as done one of the most disgraceful things of our time. Punish the health of the people in order to maintain a proxy visa. I don't think there's enough outcry in our nation on this issue. I don't think our nation is treating it with the seriousness, both at the government level and as a country. I don't think we are aware that there will be implications, ones that are adverse to us, coming from the decision that Dr. Tufton has cited. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining. Like and share the live, please. You know Andrew likes to create acronym. There's a new one in town. It is called SPEED. But SPEED works something quite similarly in some ways, not always, but in some ways, to Doge. Their prime minister, though, will have to explain it to you, because I know every news me can't care. You understand? So the prime minister will have to explain his ministry of bureaucracy for you. Do you think Audrey Mark's appointment is a grand old waste of money? Just like Marlene Malahou Fort, when the time came for her to move on, another expensive ministry was created for Marlene. Now here goes another ministry in the Prime Minister's office, the Ministry of Bureaucracy. I'm not making it up. The Prime Minister will explain it to you shortly. Debbie Jarvis TV, good evening and welcome to Drive Time London. Morris Anderson, good evening, good evening. Gloria Morris, good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Sunshine, good evening. Joan Bailey, Miranda Rodder, Colleen Stewart, good evening and welcome. Patricia Matthews, how are you? Good evening and welcome. Yvonne Riley, good evening, good evening. Let me see who is on the tick. Abraham McLeod, good evening. Carolyn Donnet, God bless. Pokemon, Angeli, Richard St. Urban, good evening, good evening. Taniel, user, Lorna, Sir Bless, Seymour, Beverly, Wayne, Isolin, Samuel. Good evening, all, and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Please give us a follow if you're not yet following us, and give us some taps on the screen, please. TikTok, YouTube, you know how it go. Make sure you hit the like button. We're going to look at Andrew and his new ministry shortly, but we have to constantly keep Joan Dawkins in the news, Millicent Jones, Carlton Samuels. The greatest diplomatic, geopolitical issue of our generation, Lustum Riley. The issue of Cuban healthcare workers. Kevin Thomas, how are you? The issue of Cuban healthcare workers. There's no leadership in our country on the issue. And there are leadership coming from various quarters across the Caribbean. We heard from from Prime Minister Gonzalez. We heard from, I think, Rowley. We heard from Mayor Motley. St. Kitts and Nevis, I'm going to bring to you in a minute. But all of these people are leading from the front. Not like what Jamaica has become. You remember in the United Nations, when the vote on Palestine, Jamaica went under the table because they wanted to go silently with Israel. Now, a massive issue in the Caribbean where it threatens all of us' health. It is the reason why our leaders across the Caribbean, Carleen Richards, is leading on the issue. Not sending out Minister of Foreign Affairs to do a soundbite here, or Minister of Health to do a soundbite there. Decisive leadership is what we cannot get from Andrew Holness, Canadian gal. Decisive leadership, people-centered leadership is not coming. Sunshine, I'm on the one who said Global TV Studio, Global TV Group 385. That's the one I'm on now. You should be able to find it, man. I'm sure you're a subscriber to that one, I thought. But the handle is at PW Global TV 358 at PW Global TV 358. Debbie Richards, thanks for the share. So Sunshine, it's at PW Global TV 358. That's the page, that's the TikTok I'm on this evening. So all the leaders of the Caribbean who have so far spoken are leading from the front. They're not sending out their Minister of Health or of Foreign Affairs to do a soundbite. They're actually leading, making bold, decisive stand, one could argue. Merle, how are you? They're offering bold, decisive stand. Andrew Holness, on the other hand, is silent. The Jamaica people don't seem to be aware of the pending implication of a decision to protect politicians' visa, Norman Ferguson. Thus, politicians are silent. The people nationally are almost silent on the issue. No one is taking in concern how grave of an issue this is. Zelta Derek, good evening and welcome. Thank you. No one is taking into account how serious this issue is, how much it threatens our health and our lives. How much it threatens our health and our life. And we are very silent. Because why we are so silent? We have no leadership. If we have leadership, if our prime minister recognizes what we are, what the people concerns are on the issue, then I believe our prime minister would have spoken to the nation or reassure the nation in some way, shape, or form. But the prime minister is actually lip shut on us. Lip shut on the public on an issue of life and death. An issue that could jeopardize your health, your children's health, your parents' health, all of us' health. And there's absolutely no leadership on the issue. You find it yet, Sunshine, you find it on TikTok yet? Maudlin, oh, Sunshine, you're here. I know, because you're thingy, you're a moderator over here, aren't you? Let me check. Of course, you're a moderator here. I know you're on this page. Right. Thanks, Sunshine. Welcome. Let's listen to Dr. Tufton again, because in Dr. Tufton's argument, that tells us, Jamaicans, the decision has already made to expel our Cuban workers. This is why Dr. Tufton is busy going around looking for replacement, whether it be Nigeria, the Philippines, or India. Seal, thanks for the follow. Good evening and welcome. Dr. Tufton, Sophia Hall, is looking for replacement because Dr. Tufton says, how do I pronounce your name? EXDIN. Welcome. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Dr. Tufton's concern was about threats to their visa, not really about threat to the Jamaica health care. No leadership. Let us listen to Dr. Tufton before we listen to the Premier of St. Kitts and Nevis. Hold on.
Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says he sees no immediate danger to the U.S. visas held by government ministers arising from the Trump administration stance on Cuba's medical missions program. The U.S. government says it will apply visa restrictions to Cuban and foreign officials believed to be encouraging the Cuban labor export program. The U.S. says the policy will particularly focus on Cuba's overseas medical missions. Dr. Tufton says discussions are being held on the implications of the policy for the approximately 400 Cuban nationals working in Jamaican hospitals.
I don't believe in this kind of assumption. What you're doing is you damage a conversation and a negotiation by start extrapolating on extremities. I don't think it's a healthy part of a dialogue. I think that we avoid those kind of conclusions and focus on the discussion. So when that bridge presents itself, we will cross it one way or the other. A lot of the decisions that we make around these things clearly, well, all the critical decisions are made by a cabinet led by the Honorable Prime Minister. So I would never venture to try and make these conclusions on my own because clearly it's not up to me alone. I have a lot of confidence in the executive arm of government, so that's a decision that we take collectively. But as of now, I'm not there and I don't see any evidence to suggest that we will get there.
How to take your teeth from this
Dr. Christopher Tufton, Minister of Health and Wellness. The U.S. State Department says the proposed visa restrictions will hold Cuban and foreign officials accountable for profiting from the forced labor of their workers. But the policy has come under fire from several Caribbean leaders. Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley says that she's prepared to lose her U.S. visa if a sensible agreement cannot be reached on the U.S. policy. A similar sentiment was shared by St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has declared that he's willing to forego future trips to the U.S. The Prime Ministers of Antigua and Barbuda and the Bahamas have also rejected the policy. Meanwhile, Dr. Tufton says there's been no evidence of forced labor among Cuban workers based in Jamaica.
We have had a strategic plan which we are moving ahead with. I'm actually traveling to the Philippines in another few weeks to consolidate some of the conversations that took place with the minister who came to Jamaica. And we have a signed MOU to pursue certain bilateral arrangements. We have had discussions similar with Nigeria. And in fact, we have approvals for some faculty to come in and nurses. I met with them last week. I met with the Indian High Commissioner this week. There are some conversations around that. There's a possibility I could be there also. The point I'm making is that we are not going to surrender or give up in terms of efforts. And if it means a void is created, we will have to find a way to fill that void.
Dr. Christopher Tufton, Health and Wellness Minister. Opposition spokesman.
If it means a void is created, we will fill that void. The only way a void could be and can be created, it would be a decision to expel Cuban workers. Why is Andrew Holness not addressing the issue like all other Caribbean leaders who have addressed the issue so far? Let's listen to the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, which, in my view, his response is very much more measured, very more diplomatic, but firm as well. Measured, Derek Gale, how are you? Diplomatic, but firm. Even though he's been diplomatic, he's been a bit nuanced on the issue. You can know that his people is at the heart of whatever decision taken by the St. Kitts and Nevis Premier. No leadership in Jamaica. We are crying out for leadership. We are dying for lack of leadership and wholeness. We cannot continue like this. I mean, you're coming to us in a matter of weeks to canvass for our vote. Linval Miller, how are you? Welcome. And at the same time, on the most critical issue of our generation, Andrew Holness is refusing to speak to us. The same Andrew Holness will be coming to us in a matter of weeks to canvass for our votes to get a third term. What, Prime Minister, can go so? Why Andrew Holness attack my computer for morning? No, so them wicked. Anyway, let's get back to St. Kitts and Nevis.
Fellow citizens and residents, today I address an issue that strikes at the heart of who we are as a nation and as a people, the issue of Cuban healthcare professionals working in our federation. The Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis has always upheld principled and respectful relations with all nations, including the Republic of Cuba and the United States of America. We hold these bonds dear, not just as a matter of diplomacy, but because our lives, our histories, and our futures are deeply intertwined. As an independent nation, St. Kitts and Nevis has long been committed to peace and multilateralism. Our foreign policy is guided by respect, cooperation, and adherence to the rule of law. Cuba has been an indispensable partner to the Caribbean,
Ricardo,
and we
thank you.
believe its full integration into hemispheric development initiatives
David
benefits all.
Jervis
A
on
stronger, more prosperous Cuba is in the best interest of the Americas and the Caribbean, enhancing our collective security and sustainability. Equally so, the United States has been an invaluable development partner, and we are grateful for their contributions to our federation over the years. We are committed to strengthening our relationship. Many of us in St. Kitts and Nevis and across the Caribbean have benefited immensely from the opportunities provided by Cuba. I, like so many of my fellow citizens, had the privilege
Dennis
of
Willis.
receiving
Good
a
evening.
first-class education in Cuba. Additionally, I had the opportunity to pursue specialization studies in the United States of America. This unique background highlights the importance
Oh,
of our
Miranda, it's
relationship with
you.
both countries and
Welcome,
is an
welcome.
example of the importance of that relationship to our socio-economic and political development. Our history proves that these two nations, despite their differences, can coexist in a way that benefits the people of the region. Since 2003, St. Kitts and Nevis has welcomed Cuban professionals who have come not as outsiders, but as family, helping us build a stronger, healthier, and more resilient nation. Our Cuban healthcare professionals have saved lives. Our Cuban trained professionals have become pillars of society. Let there be no doubt. Cuban professionals in St. Kitts and Nevis are
Seal, I'll
treated with
have to line up
dignity,
my
fairness,
speaker
and
so you can
respect.
join the
They are
thing.
provided with comfortable housing at the expense of the government. They receive compensation commensurate with the well established and statutorily approved government pay scale for professionals with similar expertise. They retain their passports, are free to travel, have vacation leave, work standard hours, and enjoy working conditions equivalent to those of local professionals. Let me be unequivocal. St. Kitts and Nevis values its relationships with both Cuba and the United States. We are a friend to all, an enemy to none. We are and will remain a staunch advocate for the rule of law, human rights, and labor rights. Any accusations of exploitative labor practices in our federation are inconsistent with our laws and values. As a people whose ancestors suffered for over 300 years through forced labor and human trafficking, we have never and will never tolerate human trafficking practices on our shores or anywhere. For this matter specifically, we have to assess the deeper truth. Division between Cuba and the United States of America does not serve the interests of our region. It does not help our people, our economies, or our shared vision for a more stable and prosperous region. It is time for dialogue. I call upon the leadership of Cuba, the United States of America, and CARICOM to come together in a spirit of mutual respect. The challenges we
Audrey
face,
Gordon, welcome.
economic stability, healthcare, security,
Dwayne
are
Hutton.
challenges we must face together. Isolation and confrontation will only serve to deepen our struggles. Cooperation, on the other hand, will uplift us all. Until then, St. Kitts and Nevis as a sovereign nation will always make decisions that align with the best interests of our people. Our policies are shaped by our principles, our commitment to justice, and our unwavering dedication to upholding our national sovereignty. Our decisions are guided by fairness, regional solidarity, and the imperative of sustainable development. Under my leadership, St. Kitts and Nevis will continue to engage both Cuba and the United States of America. We take pride in our values, cherish our partnerships, and remain firm in our independence.
Richard Bassel.
We remain committed to constructive diplomacy and fostering relationships that uplift our people and advance stability in the region. Our voice on the global stage will continue to reflect both our principles and our pragmatic dedication to progress for all. Thank you.
Very diplomatic, also very firm and decisive. He knows where he's going on the issue.
Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out. From Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody. Man or woman.
This government is not serving our interest. Gibbs, good evening and welcome. Was it Seal that said you want to say something on the issue? Do you want to come up into the TikTok box? Lily, do you want to say something on the issue? Seal, make a request to come up in the box, please, so you can make your point. Lily, good evening. Lily, good evening. Lily, let me disconnect Lily. She is not ready. Richard Vassell, good evening. Just press the. Just hold on 1 second, Richard. Just press the request button and it will send through. Let me see if I can send you a request. I don't know how to do the request, but hold on. Yes, is it Richard? Go ahead and let's hear your view on the issue.
Yeah, man. Good evening. I respect for having me. Yeah?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Just want to say to the Jamaican people, let me know if them really you are going, just me say in case of this government. This thing, this issue with this government, it's real serious. No, most people in Jamaica, especially majority of Jamaicans don't really take time for watch news. In other words, like the Caribbean news, international news per se. You get me? I say?
Yes.
Only when certain things get viral or hit the headlines, people talk about it on the road. You get me? I say majority of Jamaicans really take the time out to know what going on an international base. No, if Jamaica, when me recall about government in Jamaica, only two government ever run Jamaica when we could have said ever stand up to this first world manipulation. You get me? I say? And it's Michael Manley, even though I never really in a film system still. But doing my research and listening him and the film speech and how he make all the film presentation, realize him when get sabotage. And most of the policy where him used to bring from them time, places like even Burkina Faso and them place there, now them are bringing them policy the way Michael Manley we have from way back in the days with even the same Cuban saga. You get me? I say? We must say we want educating people in the third world sector. We, the third world body can develop after living just within our sector. You get me? I say? So the third world have them own sector. But however, America from day one never really liked that. You see me? So when come under light sanction, meaning economic sanction and food sanction and them look a thing there. But
up,
everything what happened when we realized Michael Manley was a man who come out and nigga and reason with Jamaica and everything I make them know. Say, oh, that I go on. But from them time, the Jamaican is like them not really realize the seriousness of the international negotiation or the international policy, them foreign policy per se. You get me? I say? So when after Michael Manley gone and Siaga take over, it's like foreign policy of only US based lifestyle take over. And when 9/11 happened, it get even worse. You know what I say? But we don't get that in our history. I know that. Enough Jamaicans don't know, so they have a passport we can travel at least 86 countries with visa, either on departure visa and arrival. And most of them countries, even comparing to US dollar, the currency is stronger. But you have a US-based visa system and a UK-based visa system where they use, and all we done as Jamaicans, you get me? I say in a way that we can travel them country to make our island better then. See, we have to only live off of them resources.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question before I bring in Seal. So you are of the view that we must stand firm on the health partnership with the Cuban. We must not back down.
Yeah, because we can't. If we as Jamaican overall, I'm gonna let somebody else dictate how we run Jamaica. We don't have a government down here.
That's true.
So it's like we are ruled under a policy where we keep in a position where we can move as Jamaican.
So effectively, we would still be a United States colony.
We wouldn't. We presently know a United States colony. You get me? I say? Because even the minimum wage in Jamaica, it doesn't matter where you go as Jamaican. At the same pay rate you get it.
Yeah.
Internationally. You and a Mexican cannot work on a construction site. For instance, even in the Caribbean, certain places. See? And the Mexican we work $50 an hour. As in the US, and you work only $15 an hour, and the 2 hours are the same work. And when you check your contract background, they might tell you, say, boy, remember in a Jamaica, the minimum wage is. So I say, what that have to do with you in a foreign country or in a different, even if it's a foreign company, come and
they are paying you based on the standards set in your country.
Yes, because those policy was set. Those policy was set for Jamaican people, but most people don't understand because you could be doing the same job as a Jamaican citizen. If you get married in that country and you change the status, eventually, automatically, your pay going to be raised.
Stick one pin there. Let me bring in someone else. Seal want to say something important on this issue. Can you hear me, Seal?
Yeah, man, I hear you.
Yes, let us hear your view on the Cuban issue.
A view is a view that could be very damaging to our side, because the reality of it is different from what people really know, But if me should I really explain certain things on a platform, maybe it's a damage, So I don't know still, but I really want to give you a first-hand sight upon the whole thing where I take place,
Are you saying the effects, if standing with Cuba, the effects will be broader than politician visa? It could go into sanction, embargo, or destabilization. Are you going along that route?
No, I don't really want to take this. I want to really take it on a humanitarian issue, Because if we as a people look out against slavery, we're supposed to know the fundamentals of the program, And I think a lot of people, they may really understand the fundamental of the program. The Cuban workers, them, you know, they're really efficient and they're dedicated and they're productive. So I'm dealing.
Yes.
But you have a behind issue again in the program where a lot of people don't really know. And I think a lot of people supposed to go behind and understand what really are going on in the Cuban issue, you know. But
are you speaking specifically of the Cuban program that people need to research?
Yes.
And are you looking at effects on the Cuban worker from the Cuban side of things?
Yeah.
Okay.
And but right now,
let me ask this question. Are you hinging to Donald Trump and Marco Rubio argument that there are exploitations?
No, I'm not going to answer that question. You know why I'm not going to answer that question? I'm not going to answer that question because I don't want to damage nothing. If me and you upon a personal discussion, I'm going to answer the question and explain myself to you. See? But if before answer the question upon the ear, it's going to be of advantage certain set of people, and I'm going to use it against I and I. So
okay.
I deal with.
Okay.
When we say I and I, you're supposed to know what I deal with.
Yes.
See?
Yes.
Because me and you are the same thing, you know.
Yes.
You know, see it. I'm a more advanced in the system than you. See? So, to them, I ask a question. What is our stand on this issue? And we can't take no stand because if we take a stand right now, it will blight certain things. Because 99% of the Jamaicans, them don't know what really are going. See what I say?
I kind of agree with half of your point where we don't understand the geopolitical and the diplomatic side or the ideological side of things.
No, ideological, diplomatical.
Whereas there's a consequences that come with that we have to understand as a people. Do we stand on our own 2 feet and be strong and start from scratch? Or do we lead blindly with the United States? Or do we cut ties with Cuba and we suffer the health consequences, or we cut tie with the United States and we suffer the security or the economic consequences?
None of that not gonna benefit. None of that not gonna benefit we, you know. None of that not gonna benefit we, you know. Because as me I tell you, sir, we have to go back to the humanitarian foundation. Because if we are dealing certain humanitarian thing, see, we are gonna be hypocritical for take certain stand. You know, see it. And I really want to expose certain things from the
ear. Can I ask a question? What you feel Jamaica? What you feel Jamaica need from America?
That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is humanitarian system defend. The point is defend human rights. That's a system.
No, but I'm just saying America is one place, you know, darling.
Yeah, but
there's many other places, you know.
Yeah, but we're not dealing with America. We're dealing with people.
Yeah, but the whole issue is becoming America right now.
No, but we forget. No, but
you can just by the sniff of a finger. The whole laws and the whole
you get it ideologically wrong. We're not doing ideology. No, we're not doing ideology, you know. We have to look on the issue.
We're not talking about ideology.
We are looking.
What I'm saying is that if we is a sovereign country, if Jamaica is a sovereign country, what does sovereignty mean?
Yeah, but we get that out of the equation. We're not dealing with that on the Cuban issue. I don't want you to know.
No, but it's all about.
Let me ask a question here. Do you have a human rights issue with the Cubans?
Yes, that one I know.
Okay, we'll have the debate on the human rights issue. But you see the human rights issue. I find human rights very hypocritical because the US cannot advance the human rights argument against Cuba. Jamaica cannot advance that argument because all of them are abusers of human rights in different ways.
Exactly.
But look here.
Exactly.
But look here.
Now, what is abused in our human rights?
Yeah.
In Jamaica.
Yeah.
In Jamaica, right? You see the minimum wages that we have in Jamaica?
Yeah.
You think that a Cuban doctor, or a Cuban nurse, or a Cuban worker coming into Jamaica is gonna work less than Jamaican in Jamaica?
All right, let me ask you a question. You know how much a doctor will work in Jamaica from Cuba get a month time? You know how much?
I don't really know.
But I know how much? Well,
no, I'm not aware, but as we're told in whatever country they work, they are on the same salary as the home doctors. This is what all of the governments are saying.
All right. No. Let me tell you how much them get a month time. Every Cuban workers in Jamaica, you see, them pay between 3,000 and about 7,000 a month. See? And the doctor them $40 a month them get.
And what's the consequences of that? Because there's a part of that has to be paid to the state of Cuba.
No, if the government collect $3,000 a month for you, see? Consciously in your conscience, how much you feel like the government should take out of your money, out of your 3,000?
You mean the Jamaican government?
No, man. All right, any government where you work for.
I would imagine them to take what is prescribed on the tax threshold.
All right. So every Cuban doctor in the whole entire world, $40 a month them get. Even if them a specialist, them could have been one of the greatest specialists in
You mean this is what all the countries around the world who are using them are paying them?
No, them pay the government between $3,000 and $7,000 a month.
Which government?
Them pay the Cuban government between $3,000 and $7,000 a month. And the Cuban government pay them $40 a month.
Well, that's the system of how a part of communism is run and sharing the wealth and developing. Because what you have to, what people have to remember, hold on. What people have to remember with the Cuban arrangement, Cuba educate these people to build Cuba. So that's a part of Cuba's economy. Just like how we do the same thing with farm working.
No, but look here. But the resource.
Your research, how you get your research results from?
All right. It's the resource where go back to Cuba. It now go to the people then. It now go to the hospital. It now go to educational program. It now go to the local citizen. And if you think I lie, me I tell. No, all right. Different listener, moderator. But I'm going to really talk certain things. If me could I get for reason with you, then you'd understand certain things. But now go reason and put out.
No, but how would Cuba healthcare and education? One second, Richard.
You can't have a nurse.
Richard, 1 second.
You can't have a Cuban doctor in Jamaica receive $40. Nowhere in the world.
Well, let me ask a question. How would the Cuban education system, Richard, 1 second. How would the Cuban education system and the Cuban healthcare system be so advanced if some of those money are not going back into building the country in some way or some form?
Hey,
well, I will tell you the Cuban health system
people working in the exchange system.
They are much advanced.
No, they are not.
You see Cubans?
Look here.
You see Cubans, you see as though you see America is talking about Jamaica with Cubans.
It's about Cuba right now. Listen what me
you must know this seal. If you leave Jamaica,
listen, man.
Before all this thing was happening in America about illegal deportation and stuff like that.
No, we're not reached that.
If you leave Jamaica and end up on America seashore, you are a Cuban.
Richard.
You're gonna send you back to Jamaica.
Sorry, Ricardo.
As a national.
Ricardo, allow Seal to come back
that's
in.
That's the same system that's telling us we should not deal with Cubans.
Allow Seal to come back in. I want him to develop on that point.
Moderator, you see right now if you go Cuba, not even cutting them now. Them not have not even alcohol. Them not have not even bed. Them not have not even injection needle. Them not have none of them something there. See? You see the school system, school system right now in a shamble. Just go up on the internet and check it out.
They are not graduating failures.
You can't use that. You can't use a country under sanction.
They are not. They are not.
In America, you have several street people living on the street every day.
They have a different America. They have a different America. Yeah.
Hold on a second. Hold on. 1 second, everybody. I want everybody to speak one after the other. Dino, you have just come. Let us hear your point, and then we'll rotate back to Ricardo.
Has Phil have you ever gone to the WHO website?
No. What upon it?
Well, they will tell you that Cuba has the best training doctors, the best training nurses, and they have the best health care.
That is theory. That is theory.
Come on, shut your crap. You don't know one thing you're talking about.
But you don't know who I talk to you. I tell me to shut my crap.
Are you have you visited or lived in Cuba before, Seal? Or have you had first-hand experience?
Yes, me have first-hand experience.
Okay.
With me I talk about. So I deal see anything with anybody I talk right now, them I talk maybe history from the 70s. See? So it's what really take place in Cuba right now. If you should have really check it out and see what really are going on, you're not gonna really believe it. The level as me I say still, I just want people understand certain things that the doctors them in a Cuba. I don't know if any Jamaican ever interact with any doctor who are working in Cuba.
So still, why is it further charges in Cuba no seeking in an hospital getting medical care?
Easy enough. Let me explain that to you now. Them have about like 3 hospitals in Cuba, I say. Them 3 hospitals there, a special hospital that deal with tourists. But you see, it's the rest of the hospital, them, like local hospitals, them don't have nothing in them. See? Cuba even have hospital. If you check out one of the best hospitals in Angola, a Cuban run it, and the best hospital in Angola. In Cuba itself, you know, have the hospital them for the locals, them, not in it. You have Cuba, the thing you call medical tourism. The latest stuff in them hospital. But generally speaking, for the locals, them have nothing to attend them to them. You know? So
I ask you one question, brother.
Yeah.
May I ask you one question, please?
Yeah.
With all the faults and the flaws in the education system, how they are able to produce so much doctors and nurses and teachers over the years?
No, well, I know. Let me address that. It's Cuba. Cuba produce engineers, them produce doctors, them produce nurses, them produce thousands of them every year. But if you check it out, what percent of them are work? That's a different story.
Listen, let me tell you something. See, I can take you to the corner with your argument.
Yeah.
I am a grandson of a Cuban, you see? And I can take you and I can take you to the corners, brother. I send my number to you, and we can discuss this, and I can take you to the corners with that.
Yeah, man, send your number. Give me your number. When you're done talking, I'll cry I water because you're not going to believe what I tell you.
And my numbers are on the screen. Whatever information you can provide me so I can research or look into.
Look at my name. Saint Harbin. Saint Harbin is the name. Listen.
I want Babsy.
You're wrong. You're overstating it.
Gentlemen, can you hold on a minute? I want Babsy to come into the conversation a bit.
Babsy, give me your number now.
Babsy? Babsy, can you hear me? All right, continue, gentlemen. Babsy is not ready yet.
Well, let me ask, Seal, do you realize Cuba is still under an embargo?
No, they're not.
No, they have been. They have been for 70 or more years.
Where he come from?
No. I understand this, you know. The last couple of years, how much $1 million of goods Cuba import from America?
That was when some of the sanction was lifted under Barack Obama. But Donald Trump.
What do you mean?
Donald Trump replaces most.
What do you
of
mean
those
import
sanctions.
from America?
Buy stuff from America.
You have Cubans living in America who they pay, who have visa to do buy and delivery by a plane. That's the importation that you're talking about. There's no cargo leaving from
when Barack Obama lifted the sanctions
to Havana.
Hold on a second.
The only thing. Yeah.
When Barack Obama lifted the sanctions, there were those deals, but Trump put those sanctions back in place. So there's little to none is going on.
It was only via jet. TV, name it, fridge, all those accessories.
Obama did not lift all the sanctions. It's some sanctions as early.
But the sanctions,
yes, sir.
The sanctions that will really affect Cuba. It's just like military stuff and medical stuff. So them the two most important things. But like food and them something there, Cuban government can buy any amount of food from America.
As that, you should look at. It's when you look at that farmer.
But remember, they're stifled with a lot of technology and all that as well. Even though
I'm saying
Cuba have about 2 hospitals that have the latest technology.
Overall, Cuba healthcare system is one of the best systems in the whole world.
How do you imagine they would be doing so good? Where would they be getting the financing from to do that if they didn't have a system to go through the U.S. sanctions and embargo in order to build their economy?
You know what is one of the problems?
There's no medical system. There's no medical thing in Cuba right now. I tell you now.
You're going to train the best tube doctors in the world. You can have a medical with them.
Can I ask one more question, Dino?
They're not the best.
Dino, one more question. Tell me the small country that developed a vaccine, a COVID vaccine. Tell me.
There's no country that developed a COVID vaccine because there was no COVID. All of them think they're propaganda.
Oh boy. I see where you're going still, but I see where you're going. But trust me, I want to say my number 2 and I'm going to give you some facts about Cuba.
Seal. Let me ask Seal a question. One of my viewers on YouTube, Kate M, is asking the question. The human rights issue that you are concerned about, does that justify ending the health cooperation with Jamaica and the Cubans?
No, you're not supposed to end it. What you're supposed to do is correct it. You're supposed to correct it. What I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to have a dialogue with the Cuban government, right? And ensure that the Cuban government treat them workers with more dignity.
That is internal policy because Jamaica people are not treated with dignity. So the Cuban leader can go call Jamaica and say you need to treat your people with dignity before I can send my nurses and my doctors.
See exactly what I'm saying.
So in the end now, we are contributing to the exploitation of the people that work for we from Cuba.
No, I don't buy that argument because we the US also would be involved in the what you call that word? The exploitation of our foreign workers or farm workers and or hotel workers that go to the US to work for peanut essentially.
But it's a different thing. All right, it's a different thing. Stick up in right there.
No, the Cuba thing is even a higher thing because we're talking about expertise and technicalities.
You know, but look here. Look, just hold on a little. It's a Jamaican them who are going to find the work.
Mm-hmm.
them give consensus to where them are going to do, you know, how them are going to perform, you know. Right?
We give
consensus
out of desperation. It's not it's not much different. It's not much different from the Cuban.
It doesn't go like that.
No, you look, you lick the nail on the head. You lick the nail on the head. So look here now. So look here now. The doctor who come to Jamaica go over the world.
A consensus is when you negotiate your behalf and state your position in the whole scenario.
You see the doctor who come to Jamaica come work? Why you think them come to Jamaica come work? Or go foreign go work?
Well, we need the
it's
help.
better wages.
No, better wages, man.
No, it's not just better wages. You see, let me explain this because I have a lot of interaction with the Chinese in a previous employment.
Wait, let me ask you a question.
You see, when it comes, hold on, Ricardo. When it comes to social democracy, not only the leader, but those people going outside of their country are loyal to nation building. So them being abroad is being a part of their state as well. It is how people like the Chinese and the Cuban operate. There's a nation building in what they do.
No, but that I try to show you right now. It's a Cuban doctor them who go foreign go work. Them go foreign go work because they're desperate.
No, sir, you can't say that.
Most of we got
we cannot say that. We are the ones who are
foreign go work.
And nurses in
the
healthcare sector.
Why the Jamaican doctors and nurses
are the ones
exactly
who need healthcare workers.
Most of us who go to foreign to work, we go out of desperation and looking for a better opportunity.
No.
All right, look here.
Most of us,
it's not like that.
All right.
No, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
And
I want you guys listen to this.
What on there?
You see, when a Jamaican leave Jamaica, go anywhere, go work, is not out of desperation. Jamaicans are the ones that love work. And we are
out of desperation of wanting better, looking better opportunity. Because it is desperation because we don't have that at home.
It's what you believe.
It's
not why.
Hold on, Ricardo.
All right, let me tell you something.
One at a time, gentlemen.
Hold on, let me just something with Ricardo. Ricardo, a doctor is working in Jamaica. I have a private practice. He works in the hospital. You think he can offer in the United States or England? Why? It's not desperation.
No, it's not really desperation.
It's what? He has working here already.
Listen to me now. You have African doctor in Jamaica, you have English doctor in Jamaica, you have all different type of doctor. The thing is that if you're born in a country, you need different experience as a doctor. Now, when you get that experience and you do your own research, you say, well, it's better to be a doctor in Jamaica. Because any doctor that comes to Jamaica, I never meet a doctor that comes in Jamaica here that complain about Jamaica healthcare system and he leave back, go back to his or her country. What a doctor in Jamaica do when he or she comes here? They bring equipment that Jamaica healthcare system is short of.
Let me give you that one there.
And understand what I'm saying? That is the only thing that Jamaica is
come to Jamaica to work.
And the Cuban society or the Cuban government or the Cuban organization is providing us with that. Why you are going to expel healthcare workers from Jamaica without a plan to bring back new healthcare workers in Jamaica? Why does that make sense? How does that make sense?
All right, let me give you this. I want to give you this. You see, let me now go no more deep and I just give you this. I'm gonna go and think about it. You don't know, say when the Cuban doctor them come, the Cuban workers them come to Jamaica, them have security who watch them, their movements. You don't know that?
I'm not aware of that.
So hold on. If you go and find
one at a time, please.
If a Jamaican leave go on farm work, you can't live off a camp without being monitored.
Yes, I'm going anyway. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
No, what you mean, yeah, man? What you mean, yeah, man? You have to be monitored. If you out the certain hours and not come in. They
See,
put out,
they work
put out
with
much
Cuban,
harder
they
by
work with Cuban.
Hold
That
on,
they
Dino.
know what they want.
Dino,
so
hold on,
any
please.
contract where you're going at
You
any
feel
country.
all right.
go
Ask
work,
any
you're being
Cuban
monitored.
doctor. I
That's
say,
it, that, man.
ask any Cuban worker if they have their own passport.
So
Ask
how
them.
you have Cuban living in Jamaica? Have pick me here and live here. Buy a house and live here.
There's a different. Ask the
What
Cuban
you mean
workers.
that are different?
Well, I know.
You
Ask
can
the Cuban
any
workers.
policy you have immigration laws in ways to buy citizenship. You can buy citizenship. You can get married in any country.
Yeah, but that's
gain citizenship. Live here. So what you're talking about is
go down. All right, go down.
because anywhere a Cuban go, whether in America, Jamaica, anywhere in the Caribbean, he or she can decide to give up his personal nationality.
Ricardo.
That's not the point,
You're supposed to know
Ricardo.
that.
No, I know that right now. Go down.
Ricardo, hold on, please. I want to ask Seal a question.
Yeah.
Because I heard, which was it? One of the Caribbean Prime Minister spoke about the passport issue, that all the Cuban workers have their passport. Do you have evidence of them not having access to their passport?
Man.
And which government holds their passport when they're on the program?
In every country them go.
Mm-hmm.
Them take with them passports. Me not ask that to me. I tell you.
So they have to surrender their passport to the Jamaican government?
Not to the Jamaican government. Not to the Jamaican government.
It's a real job.
Well, 1 second, gentlemen. Who do they surrender their passport to? The ones who come to Jamaica. What happened to their passport?
Let me explain it to you. You see, every batch of workers that come to Jamaica, them have a security. Will come in the batch, will pose as a profession, but it's not a profession, it's a security. So that person, you might have 2 or 3 of them take the passport from the delegation, when them board the plane, when them come out through the airport, them take back the passport from them and then keep it. And then monitor their movements, where them do, where them go, and who them contact.
Do you have any contact with any Cuban workers in Jamaica that we can speak to off record?
Them not gonna talk to you. No, may I tell you, and you see people gonna laugh. Them not gonna talk to you.
I want to get Dino.
Let me ask you something, Steve. Let me ask you something. Can a Cuban individual book a ticket from Cuba and fly come to Jamaica?
They have to get a visa, but that's a different thing.
What do you mean they have to get a visa?
Well, I know, it's the Cubans that want to work under contract. Them can't work in a Jamaica as a private person, you know, because they're in the government program. You see, if a Cuban come to Jamaica.
Stop talking. Hold on, I want to get Dino. Hold on, let Dino come in.
I worked in the hospital for many years and work among Cuban doctors, Cuban nurses. They sometimes apply to the medical. Once I get the pass from the medical association, after 2 years or so, they can apply for a license to own any office in Jamaica. Stop your
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
After them contract up.
Thank you, sir.
After them contract up, them can't do it within their contract.
But if you go any country in the world on a contract, you can't go practice otherwise. No country in the world you're on a contract.
Thank you, sir.
All right, ask how much Cuban workers, you see, who are working in Jamaica for how much years, if they are able to go private out of the contract.
Cuban what?
Ask them.
Any Cuban what?
Any Cuban workers. Ask them if they are able to go out of the contract.
We know Cubans who come here on a contract to teach. And they still, after the contract up, they apply to the government and they still you're teaching in a high school.
Yeah, but if
the
government don't give them the okay.
It's a simple thing, you know, sir. It's a thing they call work permit.
Seal is the same thing. The government,
it's not the same thing, man.
And you
it's a work permit. That's what it's called, madam.
If you go to America on a work permit and say 9 months, and in 9 months you have to apply back to Homeland Security for an extension. And that
sir.
No. If the government don't give it the okay from Cuba, you cannot do it. And that's now because I saw the system go.
There is protocols.
Man,
once you apply to the Jamaican protocol, that's why you have embassies, man.
Yeah, but you cannot do it. So you cannot do it.
All the Minister of Foreign Affairs to send documents to your Cuban embassy and say, well, all right, Mr. Estorado wants another 2 years in Jamaica.
No, man, it work. So like how you're talking.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Which two countries you don't need a visa as a Jamaican to enter Europe? Which 2 European countries you don't need a visa?
It have to be East Europe. It have to be East Europe.
Which country?
East Europe, man. Let's check out East Europe, man.
No, only 2 countries in Europe.
You know, most East Europe and the East of Europe, the country there. But that have nothing to do with Cuba.
Take the conversation back to Cuba, Jamaica, and America, gentlemen.
It's a communism country, same way. China, same way. You don't need a visa to enter China.
No, you need visa to go China, man. Yeah, you need visa to go China.
Who need visa to go China?
Jamaican.
No, man.
When last you go China?
You don't need.
I have a question. When last you go China?
Check back. We never go China yet.
I'm just telling you. So we go China. We go China last.
There is barriers.
We go China.
There is barriers set. There is certain barriers set by the same Western.
Moderator. You say if you want to get some information on exactly what I go on, the whole system what I go on.
Yes.
Let me link you up.
The numbers are on the screen. You can just take the numbers from off the screen there.
On the screen?
They're right on the screen there, where just below where it says Drive Time London.
Funny enough,
my phone set up different.
It's on the banner and it's on my page as well. There's a link to my page. You just hit it and it takes you to my WhatsApp. Richard, not Richard. Is it Richard or Richard?
Ricardo.
No, Richard is here as well. Richard, do you want to come back in, please?
I'm saying, there is conditions in Cuba, and I know for a fact, but it's not as what this gentleman is saying. And I can prove. I have pictures. I don't know. I have pictures, videos to show him.
Richard, every country have rules.
It's not as what they want. I would have wanted because but the embargo cripple them. The embargo is still in place. A few sanctions, but they still have the embargo against them.
Virgin, you hear me, man? You don't know nothing about what's going on in Cuba. I tell you.
I don't know much on the actual practicalities of the issue, so I cannot speak on it.
Boy. I said nobody in the platform know nothing about what's going on in Cuba. I tell them. But
so I'm asking, I'm asking, how is it that Cuba can be able to fund their doctors and nurses, free education, right? Free university education to export to the world. How is it nothing's going on in Cuba and the Cubans are able to do that and Jamaica can't do it? Tell me now. Other countries can't, a small country.
All right. Right now in Cuba, it's the people who want to go to school.
Yeah.
And they have to find everything for themselves.
Like?
You see all the things they have to practice with, and they have to find it for themselves. It's a book, and they have to find it for themselves.
How they find it for themselves?
All them find it for themselves. People who live in foreign, people who live in foreign are maintain Cuba.
People who maintain Jamaica too. People who maintain Jamaica too.
Yeah,
people who maintain Jamaica.
Always.
And Jamaica is not an embargo.
Yeah, but look
I'm saying no. Listen to me. I'm saying listen what I'm saying. I'm not saying Cuba is at its best and where I would want to see it, but it's not as bad as you is making it out to be. Believe that.
No, but it's worse, man. It's worse. Listen, I tell you this, listen what I said to you now.
But still, for a country that it is worse, why they are doing better than Jamaica?
In what way they might do better than Jamaica?
Educationally.
Education and health tells you where a nation is going.
Hold on, still.
We don't.
Yeah.
You know that Cuba produces more sugar more than Jamaica?
No, we are saying.
We are ready. Seal.
Yeah.
One thing to admit, we are graduating failures. So that's a massive failure in our education system. The expertise that Cuba has in the medical field, with the American partnership, we really don't have that.
Yeah, but look here now, Cuba right now are focused on an elite. We come up through the system. That means the general population no underneath the same grooming. That in the no, guys.
No, but when you look at the percentage of the population literacy, I wouldn't follow the elitist argument. Because the elitist argument look at a minimal percentage rather than a vast majority of the people.
Yeah, when we say elite, I mean the government, our system, where them choose a certain amount of students to bring them through a certain process.
Every country does that. Every country does that in your university selection.
No,
every country does that, sir, in your university selection.
What is the literacy percentage in Cuba?
Global, may I come out for me?
Well, right now, it's supposed to be about...
in the chat here, global, in the box, right? May I come out?
Maybe like 70%
yes,
right
please.
now.
Yes, Richard.
What is it in Jamaica?
Thank you.
I don't know, Jamaica.
What is it in all the capitalist country? What it is?
You can't... if you compare with Japan, you compare with China, you compare with Germany, you compare it with Israel, you compare it with which other country? The European countries, then you can't compare it. So you compare it with the Scandinavian countries, then you can't say the world. You understand? Because the Scandinavian countries,
China. What's the literacy in China?
Well, this is something we're hard for country. Look at China so big that you have even remote areas in China.
There's remote areas in America too, and in England too.
But not as that gross not as that big as nowhere else in the world. But the whole Cuban issue need for come under scrutiny, and a lot of people they are misinformed about a lot of stuff, you know. And when they use they might use information from the 70s, 80s. They need to upgrade them knowledge from what go on in the system.
No, but look how well they shone through globally in COVID. It means they were up to date on the science and everything.
No, you know how much people dead in Cuba in COVID?
Everywhere. They were able to provide doctors and nurses globally.
The literacy rate in China is 97% here.
Yeah.
And it's about the same in Cuba.
No, that's a statistic, man. I talk about the actual reality.
Oh, so all right. The government said unemployment in Jamaica is 3.5%. Isn't that statistics are reality?
I don't know far that I can't talk about that. I can't talk about Cuba. I can't talk about what you're saying. I have no idea about it.
Seal, can you hold on to me? I want to get some more of you. Hold on, Richard. Richard,
Cuba is 99.
Can you say what you need to say so I can bring in Hugh Richards?
All right, let me say this. I see, up to November 24th last year, Cuba produced 300,000 metric tons of sugar. Up to November 24th last year. Jamaica in Cuba produced 300,000 metric tons of sugar. Yeah? Get that in the head, brother.
May I tell you propaganda?
Brother, all my family live in Cuba, brother. My name is Richard St. Abin Green. My grandfather Cuba. This is in Cuba. I tell you, I'm going to Cuba.
Where's the liquor wine?
It's 300,000 metric tons of sugar up to 24th at November last year.
Yeah, but that's wrong. That's wrong.
Richard, nobody convincing because me used to talk about Cuba literacy rate at 70%. Cuba
right now.
Almost 100%.
Gentlemen, if you don't speak one at a time, I'll start muting you. One at a time, please.
Let me speak. Cuba literacy rate is 99.67%.
That ain't in the 70s.
Jesus Christ. Today, my general, today. Cuba fall night top 5 in the world when it comes to literacy.
No, man, in the 70s. Not in the 70s.
Jesus Christ, the hey, sorry. Me rest. Me just have to
You Richard, somebody arguing because he have a propaganda streak.
You see, no, man.
You know Google? Go Google it, that's where you find.
No, I have to Google it because I have more information than Google.
Wait a minute. Google, General, Google is an American thing. Google it, that's where you find.
Google wrong. I tell you what me know.
All right, Mr. R. Fidel Castro. All right, Maurice.
Right, gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up in 15 minutes because I'm not going to make this program more than an hour and a half. You want to put in your final thoughts. Dino, you want to wrap up your final argument?
We all know when it comes to Cuba, they're not, in terms of motor vehicle and other things, they are not up to par with the rest of the world. But give them, because of their literacy rate, they were able to use what they have to manufacture all sorts of parts and engineer their way around, because there's an embargo against Cuba.
Cuba has proven over 60 years that they don't need any assistance from the
Hold on, Ricardo, hold on. I'll give everybody a chance to wrap up 1-1.
As in educated.
Ricardo, hold on, please. Finish what you're saying, Dino.
Yeah. They because of the embargo, they were not able to trade with the rest of the world for over 60 years. So what they do is to educate their nation in a way in which they learn to use it what they have. It's a communist country. That means the state owns everything. They work for the state. The state provides everything for lodging, everything for them. They don't go into a competitive world to find who can buy the most luxurious house, who can buy the most luxurious car. They learn to satisfy what they have. Because when you get a taste of the first world, you get a chance, you can buy anything you want. It gives you a different mindset against Cuba. But if you're growing there, you realize this is what you have, this is what you have to satisfy with. They are almost 100% literate. They're on top of the world when it comes to education.
Right. Let me take Ricardo's final point, please.
Yes, as I was saying that Cubans in Jamaica is an essential thing for Jamaica in the healthcare sector, especially, and there is no need for the government to think twice and blacking out any sector that is going to damage the healthcare sector, which is one of the main things that any country needs to survive. Healthcare and education. And those two things, Cuba can provide us with many resources that we can use to develop our country with or without any other country intervening in our foreign affairs, our economy, or any interventions at all.
Thank you very much for that. Seal, let's take your final wrap up, please.
Yeah, I really like the people that take it from a humanitarian grounds, and separate the government from the workers. Because behind the government, a whole lot of things go on where a lot of people don't really know about. And then if you take a humanitarian approach about the thing, a lot of people are going to surprise for where them know. Go find out.
Thank you.
And may I look for the number we can't find. So anybody see my number and want to link me up, forget some information and can do it.
Okay, the number it's on my main page anyway. Once you're on my bio, there's a link there to just go to take you to my WhatsApp.
Jamila.
Hugh Richards, let's take your final wrap up, please.
Jamila.
My final
okay,
wrap
you
up
know how
is...
to set number on this? You know how to set numbers on this?
Mute the seat.
Yeah,
Mute.
You can find numbers on the chat.
See, it's right on my screen. It's not on the chat. It's on the screen in front of you.
You see, look if you see numbers on the screen here.
It's right below my picture. Continue. Is it Hugh Richards was talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah, man. I would say that the Cuban issue now. We need to separate the thing that America's what you say is human trafficking.
Yeah, the Americans are saying it's human trafficking and exploitation.
Yes, exactly. So the government of Jamaica, like the others of Caribbean, need to explain that they are not into this human trafficking. What they do, they pay them their regular salary, just like they pay the local nurses and doctors.
Because this is what every other leaders are saying when they address the issue.
That's what our leader must say now. And then with that, we have a CARICOM position, and they say, this is what we are doing, and that is what they tell me, America can't do a whole of it. The problem with America is that Cuba is a part of BRICS now. So the Cuba economic approach will change.
Yes.
And then know that, because Cuba don't have to deal with America dollar again, because they can buy from China, Russia, sort of with their money. You understand? So they want to use the American thing again. So that's the problem America in Marco Rubio. He's saying that if everybody use BRICS now, they can't use sanction against the sanction anybody. Him say that, you know.
Yeah, and they're aware of it since the Ukraine war that their sanction is not really effective anymore.
Exactly. So they are trying to intimidate people. I'm just looking for the government of Jamaica to just put on them foot and just say, just follow the step of all the other CARICOM leaders. We are not exploiting the people. We are being employed here, paying the same money or more than our Jamaican now. Yes. So we just need to do that. So I'm looking to hear from the government, the Caribbean. I always look up to Jamaica for leadership. I think why they jump out in front this time is for Jamaica to come up and lead.
Yes, and I think we're doing horrible at leadership at the moment.
Very horrible at leading anything in the Caribbean. Because we don't have a leader now. We have somebody, we have a follower.
Yes.
Because I hear him last night saying that a minister 2002 promised patrol free 2003 and 22 years and we still have patrol. We can't be a sensible person who say that. This man, that crazy man.
Well, I was meant to play this video, but I'll do that tonight. He has appointed Audrey Marks to deal with bureaucracy. I think that's just another bunch of waste of money again, just like the Ministry of Constitutional and all that affair, because this department created for Audrey is something very similar to Doge.
Exactly.
It doesn't have the international effects of it.
Yeah, Elon Musk.
One more question.
He follow Donald Trump with Elon Musk. Yeah, crazy.
One more question, host.
Right there, sir.
Who wants to ask a question? Is it Ricardo?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Now, in the healthcare sector in Jamaica and in the work sector, is it only Cuban workers we have in Jamaica working in those sectors?
No, I know that we have Nigerians, we have Indians,
Bermudians.
I'm quite sure it's
not. We have Bermudian nurses and doctors here also.
So why is it specifically the Cuban? They are saying that.
Well, it's the ideology. It's the ideology warfare with the United States. If you're communist, the US is going to, or if you're communist or socialist, the US is going to.
We have Indian. Don't we have a lot of Indian doctors in Jamaica?
But India is a so-called democracy.
In India, you know, they have a thing that they call pornography. We have more than think about 4 wives or 3 wives, something like that.
And they have that in a lot of African countries too.
No, but I'm saying if we are a Christian, if you're thinking about communism,
it is nothing to do with Christianity. It's political ideology.
No, and separate the ideology, separate the political ideology from religion. The communism and the democracy and capitalism and all that, separate those from religion. Those are political ideologies.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
But Ricardo, you remember I said we want to keep beating on Cuba. America's been asking Jamaica to cut ties with China too, you know.
They've been asking, but they haven't put a foot forward because
not
what
yet.
I recall.
But isn't it though? Let me ask this final question. Isn't it hypocritical for America having such relationship with China and then is pressuring Cuba when America have so much trade relationship with China?
China is so far away from America. Cuba and Jamaica is right in the American backyard.
No, but I mean the ideology argument that America is hinged on.
America is totally against communism.
But
it's
hypocrisy. No, let me say this. It is hypocrisy in a sense because China and Cuba is the same system, the same political ideology. But the Americans now, because of economy, they have to be dealing with the Chinese. But you're still suppressing the Cuban on that very ideology.
Can I ask that question?
Go ahead.
Can I ask the next question? How comes if a Cuban national reach an America side, they don't deport that Cuban national?
America uses the human rights argument against that to give them asylum. You see, that is one of the America agenda and policy because most of those Cubans like Marco Rubio and all of that who you see tear down Fidel Castro, those are those ones who seek asylum in America. But because of the offensive that America have against Cuba, then America automatically gives them asylum on humanitarian grounds that them are run from something or the sort.
Okay, so in Cuba, it's best that it's best to leave the country illegal then.
Yeah.
Oh, so for instance,
in the sense of the American,
so they could accept
yes,
but not leaving legally.
Because when you do, then you have absolute freedom out of any Cuban arrangement.
You hardly get visa to come to America. You hardly get visa to come to America. You have to leave it.
That make a lot of sense now, right?
So I just want to ask something. I just want to address someone in Kingston 11.
Yeah.
Kingston 11 said, are you willing to give up your visa? Kingston 11, are you willing for the government of Jamaica to give up the eye program that help and assist thousands of Jamaicans where I go blind? And are you willing to give up the medical smile program for thousands of people in Jamaica get help by? To answer the question, then I'm going to tell you if you're willing to give up the visa.
I mean, in this era, we should be able to even withstand economic sanction because the world is different from it was in the 80s.
Sir Richard.
Yes.
You plan to walk through the world by your knees, man?
No, man, by my foot.
No, sir.
Because a while ago. You know, you hear me say, he asked me.
It's not about willing, you know. It's about who you are as a country.
No, you don't listen to me.
No, all right. Stick up pin. We're going to do that. We're going to run all Cubans out of the country, right? We're going to run all Cubans out of the country. That's what we're going to do. You see, tomorrow, when there is a next problem, we're going to run all Chinese out of the country. So when we have healthcare problems, when we have food shortages, and we have to be packing up at the ports, all about from Montego Bay to Kingston. Then we go and say, okay, America, what else can America do before we realize that having a visa to America is not the end of the world, brother?
Ricardo.
Let Hugh Richards come back in from your Ricardo.
Exactly. You're not what Mr. said. The guy asked me if I asked him if him willing as a country to give up on the eye program, what we have with the Cuban overseas, or the medical program. So
sorry about that. The things that you say America.
That's why I say, me stop the readers at all. He asked me that question.
When I break up, man. Sorry about that, man. No offense, man.
Okay, so when he answer me now, then we visa, yes or no.
Kingston
Alright.
11, come up, please. I'll give you 5 minutes or so because we're soon done. You have to make the request. I don't see a request from you.
Yeah.
Hit the invite button, Kingston 11.
Let me wrap up. And I want everybody on the platform, I want you to remember, I want you to look at the history with this government and the Cuban government. You see? The Cuban government only love Jamaican people because they know how this government treated them in the past. And believe that the decision they're going to make now, it won't be different from the decision making in the past. When they expel the Cuban ambassador and the Cuban people, and they're going to do it again, trust me. Because this government is about America and they won't give up the visa for it. Because
but let me tell you something. Whatever decision the government has taken, there are the consequences. But we as a nation have decided which are the consequences best or worse for us.
From your Kingston 11.
There's no decision to be made in the uncle. Because if you get sick tonight,
Good day.
and you go to the doctor.
Good day.
Hold on, Mr. Lover. Good day. 1 second, please.
In whatever hospital you go into. And there is no workers in the healthcare sector. Because already we have shortage of workers in the healthcare sector. What we need is research first before we come to a conclusion. We're making a decision. We have to find out how many workers,
that will be a consequence
and nurses in any pharma healthcare worker from Cuba is in the sector.
I'm going to drop you down to take up somebody else. Continue, gentlemen.
Okay? We have to find out how many Cuban workers are in the healthcare sector and the vitality that they have to offer in the healthcare sector in Jamaica before we have
over 4,000.
Because remember the health minister was saying that there is some pharma gap.
Ricardo, that is known. The government knows what people, they in the health sector, they must know.
No, and man, no say that, man.
They know, man.
Who employ them?
No, man.
Who employ them?
Well, your HR should have that figure.
They run an audit. They may know because they run an audit. Jamaica is not a country where keep up to nothing standard. We need to understand that, So when they check and see, because let me tell you something, if you know you have 50 people that work in a healthcare sector and a decision come to you, you can't make a decision right away. You can't come to the nation and say, well, Jamaica, we are sorry to explain to you that we have 150 healthcare workers, 13 surgical, 15 in medical, in dental, and we have 18 eye surgery and such like that, and etc. etc. And we are going to have to expel them from Jamaica. You never get a speech from a government official in a Jamaica like that up front whenever there is a situation. There's always has to be an investigation. And we are in Jamaica too long. You don't realize what is the system of Jamaica. There's no way.
Ricardo, they can't come and work without a register. There's about a register. The government know exactly the amount of them are here.
The government should know.
They know. You can't come in.
Government know. The government
no, don't say that.
The government knows. No healthcare worker can come
is not doing his or her work.
If the government is not doing his or her
work.
So
if the government is not doing his or her work,
all these people would be on payroll.
But you should know, because, all right, listen to me. I'm not criticizing anybody.
Can I make some point there?
How many hours per day should a government official?
Guys, I'm going to take Mr. Lover. Let me take Mr. Lover. He has not had the opportunity to say anything. Let him have his view at the moment, please. Mr. Lover, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, and good afternoon again to everybody, all of the listening public and everybody. I just want to say, I am taken aback that up until now, the government of Jamaica that doesn't come out and make a solid statement and where they are with Cuban workers. Mm-hmm. I want to say, if you look into the realities of life, every country find a way how to invest in their country. It cares not whether they are being oppressed by other country or otherwise, are being democratic or otherwise, are being whatever they want to be.
right? They try and find a way out to do things and to inherit and benefit their people. Cuba has found out that healthcare is very, very vital all over the world. Hence, they place a lot of emphasis on training their people in healthcare. And I remember all of the great disaster and disease that happened in the world, whether it be in the West or in the East or in the North or the South. The Cubans are always ready to volunteer. And we're talking about volunteerism, right? To go out there in some serious circumstances. Remember this sick that they call Ebola. What's the name again? Ebola. Right. That was a dangerous sickness. And yet Cuban government gave 100 Cuban doctors and nurses to go there in those serious times when people could have died and people are dying day and night. And they went there and do free work to help to prove that kind of disease. And yet they are trying to find a way how to inherit and live. So if they know a country want workers, want doctors, want nurses, they give them that support and they might say, okay, you can pay X, Y, Z. Nothing wrong with that. That's a way to live, survival. Now, when it comes to America, look at this. Tell me one thing when America building in Jamaica. One simple thing alone.
What embassy?
In Jamaica. One thing.
Embassy.
Then do what?
Embassy.
No man, our country where come can get land to build embassy. Not that. They build for them
one thing when they build embassy.
No man, take out the embassy. No, I tell you one thing, One only thing them building in Jamaica, like Vernon Field Air Base. Why them build the Vernon Field Air Base? Because they are always at war. Look at the air base. The air base built because they had want to fight against Cuba and the one turn be when they take over one turn be, And then claims that Jamaica.
Record mute until we're ready for you, please.
You understand? So what they did, they built Vernon Field Air Base not to benefit us, but to benefit war, for land, war plane, and then kind of thing they down there. You understand? Up to now, we can't even get the use of it. Because then at the time, the government was so foolish and signed 9,900-year lease with them, right? No, they cost about the Chinese. The Chinese, yes, the Chinese have their reason, but at the same time, they invest a lot for roads, housing, all kind of development that we are inheriting from. The Cubans give us doctors, medical, and I deal with all kind of treatment.
Can you mute your mic, Dino, please?
From them. You understand? So therefore, we need to understand that we are in a new world now, a new era, when government must stand up on their own feet. Gone are the days when we talk about this dependency syndrome with the colonialistic minds. Because America is not democratic, America is not democratic. America is what you call a dictator country. Because anything what them say, remember the international law for the world. No American can be charged on that, You tell me how an American can come in your country and do anything and get away with it. Why?
Because the Americans are not signatory to any of these international rules.
And they should.
They enforce.
They are human beings, they are people like us, and they can do things wrong. So they should. And look at Israel. Look at what Israel is doing right now. And they charge him. Charge the Prime Minister down there in America is saying, no, you can't, this cannot. And look what people are dead. And dead, children are dead, they suffer. And you can't charge them. This thing can't right, brother. So losing one visa is nothing, brother. And we need to send some signal, and I want to comment there is countries in the Caribbean, especially in the Caribbean. Oh my God, we see told them Prime Minister and the President, we come out and decide, look, we will do with visa. Because we now give away Cubans and we are helping country from disease and helping country, old people and young people and everybody to get health service. We salute those prime ministers and presidents in the Caribbean, especially in the Caribbean because they claim that the whole Caribbean depends on America. But that's how people must stand up. This is the way people must stand up. That's how God make us to, yes, respect everybody, but stand up for what you believe in. You understand? Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Hold on. How do I unmute myself? Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here, Thank you, guys. Yeah?
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Guys, give them Hugh Richards, you came back in. What do you want to say? Because we'll be ending soon.
No, yeah, man. I just came. I come back into to address Wilson, but him now coming at the back, so him
Okay.
Tomorrow.
All right, Ricardo, can you unmute, please? I've sent you an invitation to unmute. Yes, give me your final point, Ricardo.
As me I say, in a few foreign affairs right now in Jamaica, just as when the Mr. Lover said, Barbados send kits and navies and places like that were even smaller in size and resources more than Jamaica, less than Jamaica. And those people can just shout out boldly, say nobody can get involved in their foreign affairs, especially their head sector, because everybody are one.
Mm-hmm.
And as a country, whether you're a Christian or Muslim or any form of religion, you must recognize that. That is what the whole world needs to be. To live as one. That there's only one God. It doesn't matter what power you're under, what regime you rule by. It's just that. So whether you're a Cuban, an Indian, a Jamaican, a Barbadian, a Bahamian, an American, an Englishman, we all are one. So I believe that any country, everybody is welcome because we are one nation. And no other country supposed to tell another country who or what they should have inside the country. So, as in the other Caribbean, I believe that Jamaica should put humans over visa.
Thank you very much for that.
100% behind that.
Thank you very much. So, Dino, give me your final point, please, before we end the line. Dino, can you hear me?
We say we are more educated, and if we are more educated, then we're supposed to know how to manage our own destiny. Yes. Bob Marley tell us, Marcus Garvey tell us, all of these people tell us.
So thank you very much, gentlemen. The show has come to an end.
We don't know what is the Jamaican government decision on the whole thing, but I noticed the blacklist that came out from the United States, Jamaica, Trinidad, and Barbados is not on the blacklist. St. Kitts is on it, and other countries in the Caribbean. Cuba is on it, but we noticed that the new list that came out, we are not on it. So I think there's still a decision from all this side. What is our intention?
Well, maybe if Jamaica,
any intention, they were not on the blacklist either.
If Jamaica signaled through them, hold on.
Also make their intention clear and they are not on it.
Hold on.
But I don't know if because the Prime Minister of Barbados is clear, they don't have any Cubans on the shore at this time. But they are personally taking a view. They are not going to make any dictate to them what to do.
But what if, based on what Tufton said, they have already signaled to the Americans.
America get help from the Cubans.
They have already signaled to the Americans. 1 second. 1 second, gentlemen.
There's still a lot of Cuban doctors working here with the American and nurses.
Yes.
1 second, guys.
Them just bias, and I don't know where this twist coming from. When they should have lift the embargo off of Cuba. Cuba not do nothing. Cuba not do nothing. Not do America not, America go down to capture one ton of be and turn Cuban or whatever they want to Cuban. And the man and Fidel fighting. And stand up as for them one country. What is wrong with that? You fight and stand up for your country, God Almighty, and the next country oppress you and depress you.
It's two different ideology. Castro went decide after the revolution saying go communist. America is totally against communism.
Yeah, but I'm saying the man have a right because why? Remember, I know America go down there and fight the man, I know Cuba fight America, Remember, revolution start, The revolution start because they send Batista go down to take over America,
Just like
take over Cuba,
Just like what was done in Haiti, them plant who they want to plant there.
Then and that cannot work. It must not work and it must stop. If you send somebody come plant in a field, you have to take over your wife and you picnic them. Can't work. Utter rubbish. I'm talking about me powerful.
Right, guys.
Fool if no one do that to our next family or our next man.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your time. I want to give the last 5 minutes. Mr. Lover.
For depression now because some country can lock off this until you say you can't get visa and you can't get some this and that.
Two things beat in Jamaica, you know, lack of education and dependency.
Tell you, man, we can't depend on about world power. If you want, but look at China. Let's say China compete for world power. You know what China do? China go in a country and build up a country. What is wrong with that?
Same America. When we believe a lot to America. Anytime you hear say one state in America seek independence, that is it. And that is all I drive to right now.
I agree with you.
Everything I drive to right now.
Right, gentlemen, let me give who was this around? Oh, he's gone.
Look what the man then do down in Africa. Look what the man then do Iraq. The man then go president look at Iraq. John claims said the man have buckled a weapon when they check a sack. Don't you show them he badge them when they give them 300 of them say they go down to fight war and come back. And how much American soldier dead have done the same way? Do what? For nothing at all. Look what they do Libya. They kill off Gaddafi after Gaddafi saying he wants a currency for one country and he want to make certain saying goal and everybody. Gaddafi send everyone and pick them. He will let me mean everyone and pick and children them in a country. Every one of them got university free of cost. Because him have gold and him mining gold and mining island, everything down there. And say my youth to make him country enrich. And if he send too powerful, them to arrange and kill him man. And kill it, we can't allow them to continue them civilized time, my brother. That's why I rate the guy that don't Abraham, whatever, the young president.
Abraham Torres.
Nifty friend,
them man, they see the light, brother. Run out front out of them country and say, come here, you know, can't nothing, you just take. The whole like ivory, whole like gold, whole like everything and you hear about this Paris. Look at Paris. Paris is one of the richest little country anywhere in the capital anywhere in the world. And Paris, no mind gold, and they got the most gold, where they get it from? Africa. You can't allow them things if you continue, brother, and come talk about one little piece of America. We have to stand up as a people, man, and know, say, yeah, we get educated now, and we realize we might be fooled. You know, one thing that I hate is when our same people down and take buyout. Because the American line, you see, look what I'm doing in Ukraine right now. I mean, I support Russia for invading our country, because I like talk reality. But the war start in Russia? The war start because America is saying they want Ukraine to become a part of NATO.
Mm-hmm.
No. Right in that front door and back door and side door are Russia. And there was an agreement 2014 that no other country don't get to go in a NATO now. With the same America, you know.
Not beyond East Germany, and they're all the way up to Poland now.
Yes, exactly. So me say, all right. If a man say, all right, he not allow that say, I'm low, no. And then James Carway, him is another fool. Think that in the country run and produce so much wheat and sitting in the road and enriching country little by little. And you're going to follow a man to go fight war. And then a few people are going to dead off. A few people are going to dead off. And you make him put you in a war. And thousands of your people dead off now. And your country almost a crash. Even though some Russians dead off and we know that too. But me I say, if you did disagree and say, all right, you don't allow that, now we just go and flex my muscle and just enjoy myself on them people. The man are better off, brother. America not go down to build Ukraine. America go down to fight to make the war start, to fight to try to get more power, to stay in control, the whole right line and backyard and all that kind of thing. Them things are necessary. It's not necessary, brother.
Same thing when you do with China and when you want to do with Russia, man.
Yeah, well, see, China wait for him right now because he claim saying he want to support him. little country there between Japan and China. Right? And the Chinese then did I wait for them and the man must show then it's not allow it. So instead the thing selling everything will be like what, and then one next thing when the American learn. One of those days when all countries stood up and listened to you and adhere to what you say.
Very much true. Very much true.
Them days they're done.
Only Jamaica has not realized that yet.
Only Jamaica, and because of the Prime Minister we got. I don't say that. Because of the government we are.
Yes.
You're not afraid to say that.
Yes. Government not turn up. Government dependent.
Right now, I know some Michael man would have 29 grave to backside because Michael would have come out and say, look, this answer we don't want to say, we are Cuba friend and you know tap with our becoming friend. So, let them go. I'm telling man, we have to stand up after man and stand up for our own man. We have to stand up. Right now, many people don't know that. You know, so Jamaica have oil. Jamaica have oil, you know.
Even though they don't want to tell us.
America no want we to produce no oil. We'll get too enriched and too dependent on ourselves and our wine. So they want us to continue to depend on them. So then find out every kind of way to claim selling boy. I channel with there, Ghana or other country, the other country, I feel this and all that kind of food system. Remember me tell you that. You know why we get rich? I don't know when you get more rich and more independent and you know could too much depend on them or buy by them. So that's why when they come with IMF in a free country, in a little country, they come with an oppressive IMF terms and conditions where your country must not strive. That's how IMF work and the World Bank.
Mr. Lover, hold on, let me take another view, please.
Yes.
Is it Garman?
No, Garfman.
Garfman, okay. Let's take your view on the issue we're discussing, please. The Cuban healthcare worker and Jamaican politician's visa. Do you think Andrew Holness should give us a decisive argument like the other Caribbean leaders as to where we stand on this issue as a country, regardless of where the matter goes?
Well, great question, great topic. But you must remember we have to look at the geopolitics of it and note the geopolitics. Remember, the Jamaica Labour Party mirrors the Republican Party in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Let us be clear on that. So you will never get an answer from the Prime Minister because he himself is very much conservative his answer because he know he cannot go against the mighty United States. Remember this, you know.
Super D, welcome.
Andrew Holness met with the Secretary of State recently, you know.
Yes, during the CARICOM Galangin.
Correct, remember that. So, and that is why you hear the Prime Minister say, not the Prime Minister, the Minister Tufton said he's on his way to Philippines.
And he had the conversation with India, the Indian High Commissioner also.
And he had the conversation with India. Now, we must also rate the other Caribbean islands that take a stand and say they are willing to give up their visa. These are people that don't mirror the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the geopolitics in it. And the government of the day, you know, funny enough, I was at a PNP meet and greet in South Florida last night.
Mm-hmm.
And that same question was posed to Nikisha Burchell from South St. James, because she was there.
Mm-hmm.
And the question she answered is that you have one prime minister and one foreign affairs minister at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And the prime minister must set the pace and let the nation knows exactly where the government stand on this.
Yes, government leader, the leadership of the prime minister is important in this issue.
Correct, and it is very important because when it comes on to Cuba, as bad as things are in Cuba, if it wasn't for Cuba, I don't know what Jamaica healthcare system would look like.
Mm-hmm.
The young lady. So I believe the Prime Minister must give a definite answer and take a stand and let the people of Jamaica know exactly where he sits.
I do believe so too.
Yeah.
Because it's the issue that concerns the people of Jamaica. That the consequences from an adverse decision will not affect politicians, will affect the people.
Correct.
And thereby he needs to be honest with us.
Yes, and I think we're going to wait a long time. I believe
But it makes the Prime Minister look very, very bad, given the amount of Caribbean leaders who have spoken already. It makes the Prime Minister look very weak and very bad and not concerned of our health or the implications.
But we can go further. Remember that the Jamaica, the government have to get rid of the Petro-Carib deal. Remember that last time?
Yeah, the Venezuela situation.
The Venezuela oil deal.
Yeah.
And we were getting greatly subsidized oil from Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
And that would have been a benefit to the Jamaican people.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to cut that off. He was summoned to Mar-a-Lago to have a meeting with the President Donald Trump at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So what else? Do you expect anything different? Nothing is going to differ. You will have to take the stand. But the truth is this, though. The truth is this. Mark Golding is coming up, a Prime Minister in waiting. We have to balance it.
I do say that as well. We need the Mark Golding's position on the issue, given the social democracy alignment, given that he's expected to become the next Prime Minister after the general election. We need his position on the issue.
Mark can only speak on the issue, he cannot make a decision on the issue.
No, that's why I said give us his position. Give us the people his position on the issue. What decision he would take if he becomes Prime Minister after the next general election.
Correct. Because he has to take a stand one way or another.
Definitely.
He has to take a stand. And the truth is this.
You think it's a nice time for Mark Golding to speak his position on the matter right now?
I do.
No, you see, that is the thing though. It's not about if it's the right time or the nice time. The fact of the matter is something out here in the public space.
I agree, but knowing the circumstances of America and knowing the circumstances what Jamaica has faced when America has the power to disrupt the election.
Of course, America has done it across the world. Right. I agree. But the fact of the matter, remember, gentlemen, remember, we are human. We are not robots. So the fact of the matter, at some point or another, that question going to reach to anybody.
I agree. But, as I said before, whatever decision is taken, there are consequences to any one of them, We have to make as a nation decide, do we prefer healthcare or do we prefer that freedom of going in and out of North America? That's what we need to decide.
Well, what you must say, in a nutshell, in layman terms, no Jamaican want to give up them visa. Visa is like liquid gold.
But it's about giving up your visa or what your people dying. And it's not a matter of
and I will
every Jamaicans are asked to give up their visa. This is subjected to politicians at the moment.
They will rather die. Nobody now give up their visa. When you go to the Ligani plains, do you see the lines getting shorter?
Well, I'm not in Jamaica, so I wouldn't know.
But make a difference.
One of the things we need to step away from the dependency, the what if, the consequences too, because if we continue to think that way, America will always hold us to ransom.
I agree. But you want to step away from dependency? Ask both parties.
Remember, I said it. I said the problem with the Jamaica is that lack of education and dependence. We make ourselves too dependent.
Yes.
And this is something Michael Malo was telling a long time. You've got to be self-reliant. Stop depending on your neighbors.
Yes. Delroy Henry, good evening.
And the question is that for we to get away from dependency, the people of Jamaica need to stop put the burden on politicians to come to the dead yard to give me gift vouchers to go buy groceries, go buy food. Until we cut out those behaviors, we will always stay dependent.
I think it starts with us stop selling our votes. That's where we start the malarkey.
Stop selling our votes.
Going wrong. Vote for our politicians to implement substance to grow our economy and change our social status.
Correct. That's exactly what we need. But we the people, we sell our votes. We don't vote on the policies. We vote on our pockets are filled.
Our personalities. Vote on pockets and personalities.
Exactly. So it's a lot of work, A lot of us complain that politicians are corrupt. But the truth is this, we are the one who corrupt the politicians.
I'm of that view as well, that we are the ones. Yeah, we are the ones who are paying for the corruption.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we are the ones who...
We birthed a corrupt nation. How the politicians come from out of the same of all of us. I think they went in corrupt, then also we build them, make them corrupt. They went in as a corrupt.
I do believe our politicians and our police, if we do not get involved in the corruption with them all the time, they wouldn't have that ledger to make corruption become so normal. So we are actually feeding into their corruption. We're actually making their corruption thrive by selling our votes, by taking a thing from them, by paying a police to kill a case. So we are the ones who really pay for corruption.
That's what I'm saying. We develop as a corrupt nation. And you're taking our police out of the corrupt nation. You're taking our politicians out. So that's why the police force is so highly corrupt. And the politicians, that's why it's the same corrupt people they put in office.
Well, that's true. Corruption all around.
We need to start to implement policies to get rid of corruption. We start to educate the nation and show them that corruption does not breed prosperity. It breeds on what it was, it's poverty.
But Dino, we can implement policies to curb corruption. But what I'm saying, if me, John Brown, is taking the bribe, if me, John Brown, go down by and I have a container and I search out that and say, yo, may I give you a thing for clear this? How does the policies that is put in place if the man on the next side not accepting it?
Beyond the policy, it takes political will and integrity to have those implemented. If those are missing, then the policy alone just does not work.
But you must remember, it's not the people who feed the politician with corruption. The politician make the decision to be corrupt. Because when you can't tell a politician to make you 50% of the contract. He might tell us, say, me I get a 800 million contract, but I want 400 million out of it.
So Dina, let me ask you this question. Why is it in North America, when a policeman stop, if you give you a ticket, you don't offer the policeman $100 for not getting the ticket?
You feel it not in North America?
No. All right. The next time you are stopped anywhere outside in North America, and a policeman stop you, and you're speeding, you tell the police officer, say you can give him a thing, say you can bypass it.
You can be arrested then.
No, you can, or you will.
So we have corrupt officers in
No, we're not disputing that. Corrupt
it's not everywhere. As much as Jamaica.
That's what I'm saying. So that is where we need to get.
Look at the difference in Jamaica. You're speeding and he pull you over and tell you left or right.
Yeah, but police stopped me in Jamaica. And frankly speaking, to be honest, police have stopped me in Jamaica and they never bring any money argument to me. Never.
Listen to me. Him tell you left or right.
No. Listen to me again.
Police has stopped me in Jamaica, and a policeman has never told me left or right.
No one has ever told me left or right, but you hear other people complain about it. What I do see is a policeman who hold a ticket book and then go around me, taking a look at my papers and go around me a million times with intention I'll offer him a bribe.
No, but what I do, that has happened to me. And I asked the police officer, are you going to issue your ticket? Yes or no? Let me know now. Time is of the essence.
Fine, that's exactly what I do. I tell him, give me the ticket, I can pay. Give it to me.
No, I don't tell him, give me the ticket. No.
Give me, man, give me.
No. I asked him, officer, will you be issuing a ticket? Because we are now wasting time. And they normally give him back the license and say, please drive safe.
But gentlemen, we are going to wrap up now. I have gone way past my time because I'm coming back on to do my final show tonight. I want to thank you all for being here this evening. If you want to debate again, you can join us right back here tomorrow evening at the same time. We will continue the conversation because I do believe that the conversation on the Cuban healthcare worker, we are to keep it in the current because our Prime Minister is way too deaf on the issue. So take 60 seconds each to give your final wrap up, please.
Well, I listen to the Minister of Health on the issue, and the Minister of Health said he can't take that stand. The Prime Minister will take the stand.
Which is true.
So, I think all eyes and all ears listen to the Prime Minister to decide what is his stand on the whole issue.
Yes. Goffman, your final wrap up, please.
Yes, as I said, stand the same. I believe, as Dino said, it is the prerogative of the Prime Minister to let the nation know exactly where the government stands. And that's it. And I mean, everything carry consequence, and the Prime Minister must balance the consequences depending on where the wind blows. Simple as that.
And not the consequences to save himself, but just what is
for the Jamaican people.
Right,
Correct.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Ricardo, can I take your final wrap up, please? Ricardo, are you still there? I think he may have gone off. Thank you very much, Dino.
Yeah, man.
You can join us back tomorrow because we're going to continue this conversation.
No problem.
All right, then. Thank you very much. Thanks to everyone for being here this evening on the Global Television Group. Lovely to have your support. Join me right back here tonight for the People's Point of View. And we will certainly have this debate all over again tomorrow because this is a decision of our lifetime. The government is taking the decision with us left in the dark, but we will continue to advocate for the people. Thank you very much for being here this evening. Join us back this evening for the People's Point of View. Goodbye from Global TV. Let me end YouTube first.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.